Hey, everybody. It is Let Me See Your Transcript, your very favorite history teacher. How are y'all doing this afternoon? I am so happy the day is over with. I'm going to go on my way home. How y'all feeling? Please come on in the room. About to do this is my movie review of the new movie that came out this past weekend on Friday, November the 5th called Eternals. This is part of Marvel's, or you could say the Marvel Cinematic Universe MCU's phase two. Phase one was its Avengers series of movies that starred Iron that basically featured Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, Hawkeye, the Black Widow, Black Panther, and Spider Man. So Eternals is a whole nother group of superheroes that I'm going to give a movie review about. So please come on in the room. Okay, Nova Real Show. This is okay. Please don't be spoiling the movie in my comments. I appreciate you coming over, but please don't spoil the movie here. I'm just giving the basics about why you should go see the movie. Okay, all right. So please no spoilers over here. Okay, I'm glad you're able to come over. So when did you go see it? Okay. Um, waiting for these buses to go by. Okay, so while I'm waiting for these buses to go by, I just want to give you a little background. Who are the Eternals? Okay, so on the screen, oh, you saw it Saturday. I saw it Sunday. Okay, me and my BFF we did self care. You know that was good. It was her birthday. All right, so if you look in the screen there, you'll see the group of the Eternals. And on the left hand side, a little bitty one, that is Sprite. She can manipulate objects around her, maybe make things people seem to be there when they're not. Above her is Druid. He can manipulate people's minds. Um, right there in front of behind the letter T, that is Cersei. She can basically turn wood or water into water or any other object. Um, other things, other, precious metals and stuff like that. Next to her, behind, the Marvel Studios R&N, that is Icarus. Yes, that Icarus from Greek mythology who flew too close to the sun. And also Cersei, if you remember Cersei from Greek mythology, I believe she was on an island, I think. And but the men would never stay. They were like leave her or something like that. Next to Icarus is Gilgamesh from English class. It's like English literature. That Gilgamesh, very strong warrior. Next to Gilgamesh in the lower right hand, next to the S, that is Makari, who is kind of like the Flash of the Eternals, goes very, very fast. If you know anything about Greek or Roman mythology, there was a Mercury who was the messenger of the god. So it's very, very close to that. Behind Mercury is Ajax, who is kind of like the leader of the Eternals. She has a kind of like an intercom or inner phone system, you can say, that connects her with Erishim, who sent the Eternals to protect Earth from the Deviants. That's why they're there on Earth. And they were told that they were not supposed to interfere with anything else that goes on Earth. Their only job is to stop the Deviants from eating the human beings. That's their only job. Their main job. Behind Gilgamesh is it Kingo, and he can manipulate objects in his hand. And then next to him is Festus, which if you know anything about Greek mythology, Hephaestus was the god of like machinery, metal objects, loves a lot of tinkering with things. And so a lot of the objects and a lot of the tools and a lot of the weapons and a lot of the technology, he's in charge of. So each of these different Eternals has a particular skill set. And they are sent by Arishem, who is a celestial being in outer space and contributes to the life in the galaxy. And Arishem sent the Eternals from their planet Olympia to Earth to stop the deviants from basically eating the humans. And once their mission is complete, they are able to go home. Yeah. So, well, it seems like they're, few days, years um on Earth turns into several thousands of years on Earth. And some of the things that they've done when they said, hey, you're not supposed to tinker with, what goes on here, supposed to be natural development. Some of them kind of didn't do that. Some of them did tinker with some things. They, may have brought, civilization out of the dark ages into the bronze age. So, things like that. They also have conflicts with each other because some of them feel like, hey, if they see something bad, they should do something to intervene. The others are like, no, we're not supposed to do anything. They're supposed to be able to develop on their own, and we're not supposed to get involved. So, there are some love stories in this movie. There also may or may not be a little bit of controversy about this movie. This movie is 2.5 hours. I would say if you love world history or anything dealing with literature, world literature, you're gonna love this movie because for me, I'm a historian. I love the history, the different places, Mesopotamia, Babylon, Tanaka Clan. David went at one point they were in South Dakota. I was like, how did I get to South Dakota? At another point they were in London. They were, and also in addition to outer space. So you get to see, and then there's also a mystery in there. They don't really age, and so it's they really can't have relationships with human beings. They have mostly relationships with each other. This movie also sports the very first, I guess you could say, love scene in a Marvel movie. Two of the characters, man and a woman, they fall in love and then they have sex out in the whatever out there in is it the woods or in the sand on the beach or whatever, the rock formation, whatever they were. And then later on you see them get married, and but then you also kind of see them break up. So it's like, oh, it's one of those stories. But then he kind of like does what other men do sometimes in movies. She moves on, and then he comes back into her life. It's like, why did you come back? I got myself a new man, right? So, but it before it's a sex scene, that it wasn't vulgar. You just see their top halves rubbing and they're kissing each other, stuff like that. So if you do have little ones, you may or may not want them to see this part of the movie. You may want to send them to go get some popcorn, or you want to close their ears or cover their eyes or whatever. You want them to do, or maybe you not want to see this movie at all. There is another part of the movie which also maybe some controversy. You may not want your child to see this movie. There are actually some Arabic Muslim countries who are upset at the fact that there is a one of the Eternals is in a same sex relationship, same sex marriage, and they have a son. And so there's a part of the movie where the other Eternals show up and they're like, "Hey, we need you to come with us." And he's like, "Wait a minute, I got a family. I'm not gonna come do this with y'all." And then like his husband, who is a Muslim man, uh, tells him he should go. You stop procrastinating and go off and save the world with your friends. And he kisses him goodbye, and then he goes. And so, um, some of the Arabic Muslim countries don't, homosexuality is forbidden and everything from where they are. Hey, y'all. It's forbidden from where they are. And so the censors in that country actually wanted to, censor the movie. And so what the I guess you say Marvel did, they just kind of like end up pulling the movie from those countries. So Angelina Jolie was not very happy about that. She felt like it was done for very ignorant reasons, but which I kind of agree with her. But then at the same time, you have to respect that these are countries that are very, very conservative. Just as conservative as some Christians who are probably not going to be very happy with two men, closed mouth kissing each other while one goes off to fight in a battle. So, but however, we need to understand that same sex couples, whether both men or both women, they do get married and they do have children. And as far as I'm concerned, out of all of the Eternals, that character was probably the most stable, had the most stable relationship, had the most stable thing going on in their life. So, and uh, but like I said, and so I'm hoping that the Christians who go see this, like I said, those 2 point parts of the movie, the heterosexual couple having sex and homosexual couple just smooching, that might be too much for you, for your kids, that you don't want them to see that. So you might not want them to see this movie, or you might want to send them out if you're watching this on Disney Plus, or if you're in the theaters, you might want to like, hey, go get the popcorn, or like, hey, close their ears, close their eyes, or whatever. But I hope some of y'all are not going to start these think pieces about, oh, here's Disney trying to influence our children and emasculating people. I'm just like, listen. It's one same-sex couple. Okay. It's probably not going to be last. Just like there should be represent, because this is a very diverse cast. It was, to me, I felt even more diverse than the Avengers. Okay. The it was a You had an Asian woman as the leader. She played Cersei, Gemma Chan. Salma Hayek played Ajax. You had Brian and Tyree Henry, who played Festus. Okay, African American. You had I forget what her name is. It's on the tip of my tongue. She plays Makari. She's black. She's African American, and also she's deaf in real life, and her character is too. So that's the very first representation right there, the first deaf Marvel character. And let me see, uh, Kingo is from India. Camille Janelle, I think that's his name. He plays an Indian. Was it Indian? Yeah, Indian character. So this was a very diverse group, probably, like I said, more diverse than the Avengers were. And so I feel like they did a very good job at representing different cultures and different segments of the the world. Okay. And so I feel like, for the most part, they fit in. There was one, I guess say European American character, female character, and one and two white male characters. So it's a very diverse cast, which I think is very reflective of society. Okay, so but I'm hoping some of you Christians and also some Islamic people that y'all not gonna be harping on two characters who are like basically smooching and one is going off to fight, and you gonna overlook the two heterosexual people over there having sex out in the desert. Like, be equal about your dysfunction. Don't just dissatisfaction. Okay, I'd rather we be mature about it and just say, hey, maybe this movie is not for my 13-year-old. Maybe this movie is okay for my 16 or 17-year-old. We can do that. Okay. Like I said, I feel like for the most part, this film was very diverse, represented society. It also deals with like, hey, what kind of choices do you make as a group or as a society when you're there to help others? Okay. Do you want to do what's best interest of other people and they not have a decision in it? Or is it or do we just do whatever the leader tells us to do? Do we vote? Because it's at times it felt like, oh, this character really was the good leader, and then we found out later on, like, wait, they what? And it was parts of the movie like it totally blew my mind, and I'm just like, and I really like the fact that I think also what contributes to this being very good and diverse. A lot of the actors, they're good actors, as well as being a diverse group of actors. But Chloe Zhao was a Asian female director. I think she did a very good job in what she did. And I think it was a lot more, maybe she did a lot of things, I felt like, what the character said, and also directed the actors to show emotion that sometimes was very complex. So nobody was, for the most part, everybody was who they said they were. But the people who were a little bit more complex, like they were battling their inner demons, she did a good job, I think, in trying to make sure that they were showing that. So I really liked how she directed this, and so I'm hoping she's gonna come back and do the next one, because part of the Marvel Universe, Cinematic Universe, MCU, Eternals is gonna have a sequel. But also, I'm going to say to y'all who are watching this, please, please, please stay until the credits are over with. There are two scenes at the end. Two scenes at the end. And somebody's going to show up that you're going to be like, wait, he had a brother? Seriously? He had a brother? And that's the brother? You're going to be like that. And then there's going to be another scene where you see a character that really didn't do a whole lot in the movie, and then you see them about, I guess you say, get their inheritance, and then you hear a voice from the side say, are you ready? Are you sure you want to open that? And you're like, wait, who? And then the movie goes off, and you're like, wait a minute, wait, who was that? And so me and my friend, we were debating. She was like, oh, that's Samuel L. Jackson who said that. I said, that's not Samuel L. Jackson. I know what Samuel L. Jackson sounds like. That was not him. That was somebody else. So, you know me, like to do my research. So when I got home, I started, Googling and reading articles and stuff like that. And I found out who that person was. So I'm not going to spoil it for you. You're going to have to go see the movie. Okay? Or if you want to know the spoilers, go to the Nova Real Show. But I want to tell you about going seeing this really great movie, and you got to go see it. That's all I'm going to tell you. Go see it. It's a good movie. All right. Talk to y'all later. Bye.